Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 6th, 2022, and it's time for another Taco Tuesday session. Thank you so much for joining us both live and in the recording. Those of you watching this from the future, thank you for watching the recording. I am joined today by four of our esteemed vendor partners, and first up today is going to be joining us from Reprints desk, my friend Tony Landel. So I will stop sharing my screen, Tony, so that you can start sharing yours, and then the floor will be all yours.
Okay, so stop sharing. Continue. I'll put mine. You see my screen?
I do.
Okay, perfect. Jeff, thank you very much, my friend. It's always been a pleasure to see you. I mean, the first time we met was during a blizzard in Chicago.
That's true.
And ALA, I don't know, feels like a decade ago. And then as I was chatting you earlier today, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and today's going to be 114 degrees. So we got from one extreme to another. But anyway, it's a real honor for me to start this off here on the Taco Tuesday and be the leadoff hitter for this event. And like I said, I've always appreciated working with Jeff and working with WiLS in general. So what I'm going to do for the next 10, 15 minutes is talk about our services. And I'm going to talk about what we really do. Our bread and butter is we are a document delivery provider. Our goal is to provide the fastest access to content and provide it to you seamlessly, inexpensively, and have the best user experience possible. A little bit of housekeeping for those of you who use our service today or thinking about using the service. We are slowly rebranding our company. So for somebody like myself who's done document delivery now 35 plus years and have been at Reprints desk for the last 15 years, we're slowly changing our name to Research Solutions. So if somebody out there who knows me or reaches out to me in the future and wants to discuss our company, if I end up calling it Reprints desk, it's called Research Solutions. So it's just a simple rebranding name. We've been in this industry since 2006. Our biggest focus has always been the corporate market, but over the last several years, our biggest growth has been the academic market. And right now, that's our biggest uptake. It's beginning to overtake the corporate in the sense of size. So as you can see, we have well over 500 academic clients as of today. So the academic collection, and this is the four key points about what this academic collection really does for you. We have access to better than close to 1 million book chapters. We have access to immediately 40,000 titles. Average cost $29, and average turnaround time is about 30 minutes. If it's something we can pull from a server, you'll get that in less than a minute. If it's something that we need to go to an extended source, that can take a little bit longer. So the core group of our service is not only the fast turnaround time, but also our relationship with publishers. So the key element here, as you can see in front of you, is these publishers are the ones that we get the most academic requests for. We have negotiated rates, seamless integrations, and really one of the most important things is no embargoes. So if a publisher like Wiley gives us access, they give us access to everything, including their book chapter titles. So how do you want to use this? What systems you use? Well, one of the great things about what we do is we can work with you in many different ways. You could put us upstream, you could put us downstream, you could put us in the middle. Wherever you need us, we can be that really key element for you. So for instance, we have a few clients, or actually we have about, I would say 8 to 9% of our clients use our full order text form just to go in and order articles as a one-off, meaning that if you work at a reference desk and a faculty member comes in there and you need to get it to them instantaneously, you can actually use our order form to do that. The other source, of course, is Iliad. You could use Tapasa. You can use the IDS project. And of course, you can use Rapid. The beautiful thing about all four of these services is it costs nothing to set up, no setup fee, no annual license, and each setup time usually takes anywhere just to a few minutes to up to an hour. So even if you don't really want to ever use us that much, but want to use us occasionally, if you use any of these four, you can have us set up and we can be on the back end. And one of the great things about what we do is we really have realized that so many universities use us in so many different capacities. They'll put us immediately up front to try to get their articles through their interlibrary loan departments and provide those instantaneous to them. And then there's other universities that use us as the last resort. It's like, you know what? I've used every other source out there. I'm just going to use Reprints Desk to provide that article for us. And that's another thing that we've really started to gain a lot of traction on. And really one of the uptakes about what we're doing is we have a service called Academic Advance. And really what it is not only can we pull articles off servers for you and deliver those articles to you instantaneously, but we also have about 15% of our article requests that we can go to access sources around the globe and try to fulfill those documents to you quickly and timely. And really one of the key elements here is really one of our best sources is the British Library. We've been working with the British Library for the last several years, and what we realize is the relationship is getting bigger and it's getting stronger, and we're starting to expand our relationship with them to the point now that the British Library has told me that we are really their #1 source. We're the #1, we use them the most. And with that being said, we get a little bit of special service, we get quicker turnaround time, and also we get a little bit of a better price. So that's something that we can provide for you at the British Library. And of course, we use other sources from around the globe to provide that content for you. And we're really thrilled about this. And we're always looking for access to third-party vendors, but we realize that this has really been a key advantage for us, knowing that at least 14 to maybe 15% of the article requests we get are for hard to find or just regular articles around the globe. So at this point, we're going to shift gears. And by the way, I just would like to say once again, for the service that we just talked about, it being access to, the 4 major players in the interlibrary loan world, we can give you a free account, even if you just want to kick the tires and take a look at the pricing. You want to see if maybe this is the service right for you. That's easy to do. And at the end of the session, I'm going to put my email address in the chat box. So you'd be able to have access and get a free account, reach out to me and ask questions. But like I said, that's all the free to set up, no annual license. It's there when you need us to be. But with that being said, we're going to shift gears. And for the next 4 slides, I'm going to talk about our brand new platform that we're rolling out, which is gaining a lot of traction now. We're signing up about 2 to 3 accounts a month on this service. It's called the Article Galaxy Scholar. And really the difference between Article Galaxy Scholar and the academic collection is really what's in front of you. This is the really key difference. The academic collection is free to set up with no annual license. Article Galaxy Scholar has an implementation fee and a small annual license. And actually, we're redesigning that model right now to fit different size libraries and also to find out what is the right fit for you. So in other words, if you're going to have 15 to 20 power users using the service, it's going to be a very low introductory price and a very low price to begin, with a possibility of no annual license, as opposed to if you're a major player with multiple faculty and staff using it, that'll be a different pricing models. And those who are interested, you should reach out to me and I can explain what that all is. But really, one of the key things with the Article Galaxy Scholar, it's really a solution to fit goals. It's to really provide open access, to provide article purchase and incorporate interlibrary loan. So the best way to describe Article Galaxy Scholar is it's downstream from your link resolver, upstream of interlibrary loan. So it really falls into that really cool sweet spot that you might have that you really would like to satisfy key users from around the globe or key users at your university. We're here to try to help you provide the best services possible. And this is really the most important slide that I like to show you. So how Article Galaxy Scholar works is the user comes in, uses this discovery. We can work with any discovery system that you have, but the big 2 players are, of course, Clarivate and EBSCO. So a user comes in, and let's suppose Tony Laddle is a faculty member at your university, and you've downsized certain parts of a collection, or you no longer have access to a certain part of a collection, or maybe just a few titles. But since I'm a power user, or I'm a faculty member or a graduate student who does need this content, you can go to me and say, Tony, the first 5 are going to go to interlibrary loan because we believe in Contu. From 5 to 10, immediately will go to Reprints Desk, and they will fill those articles within seconds, 24 hours a day, and have it be delivered to you. If I'm not a preferred user, it's the journey as usual, and it goes to interlibrary loan, all the while incorporating open access content. And really what that means is that we take on paywall integration, and if the article that you're looking for is open access, it'll be popped up in the browser instantaneously as being OA. If it's not OA, It's the journey as usual. It's the choice that you make to decide if certain faculty, staff, or maybe the entire campus gets access to certain content that you would like your patrons to have access to 24 hours a day. And it kind of relieves the burden of the interlibrary loan department, knowing that they have this content available to them, and with also incorporating limits. So if you hit up to, maybe you decide that Tony Landlub is a rock star faculty, you can give me 50 downloads from particular titles, or one big publisher, or multiple publishers. But if I'm not a rock star faculty, you can give me 5. And if I happen to be an undergrad won't see any of this. It'll be just the usual journey experience that they normally have. So the next to the last slide is, this is the 5 most important things about Article Galaxy Scholar. It saves time, valuable staff time. It provides data and insights. So if you're in charge of collection development, or you're making decisions, you're going to get down to the granular of what journals are being used, how many are going to be clicked on, how many are going to be downloaded, how many open access are there, how many are going to interlibrary loan. It also has limits and controls, so you're going to have all these buttons in front of you where you really are the person behind the curtain making the decisions and also calculating costs. We improve the user experience, so there's no longer any dead ends. You know, someone doesn't hit a wall and the whole experience sours on them. And then finally, expand and fulfill search results. So we've seen universities open this up to the entire campus, to like 8,000 students and faculty. And we've seen this platform be rolled out to 10 faculty only, to maybe just a small group of titles. And we've also seen universities roll this out for brand new titles, where the only reason they use Article Galaxy Scholar is to satisfy a faculty member who comes to them and says, I really would like you to subscribe to this. And you're like, well, that's not, we can't decide, we can't justify the cost. You put it in Article Galaxy Scholar and you find out how much traction there is. So there's a lot of multiple ways to doing this. And with that being said, I think I'm on time. Here's my contact information. So like I said, if you're interested, and I'll put my email address in the chat box here at the end. So if you'd like to reach out and ask me questions about the platform, you're interested in our academic service, the bottom line is here, we want to be wherever you need us to be. You want to use us, you know, every day, or you just want to use us occasionally, we're here to fit that need. So with that being said, Jeff, I'm going to stop and kick it back to you, if that's okay.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. We're like a minute or so. Actually, it's 11:45 exactly here now, but it looks like our 11:45 hasn't popped in yet. So I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to share with the group, or if there are any questions.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, you can put in the chat. I put my email address in the chat box. I think, Jeff, you know, you've been a real fan of the platform when we started rolling it out. I think it's been a really fascinating thing to introduce to the community. I think one of the things that we're realizing as we move forward with the platform, just the use cases that we've had for it. You know, like for instance, you know, the open access filter is really key, and not only for brand new titles, but another use case that we've seen universities use it for, it's a collection development tool. You know, it helps with their buying decisions or the possibility of downsizing. We've had universities downsize packages, and they put these titles in Article Galaxy Scholar thinking, will there be any usage of these titles at all? And all of a sudden they start seeing maybe some usage on some titles and no usage on others. And so they're thinking, well, let's join those. So that's really been one of the fascinating things about the open access field with the platform itself. And of course, one last thing I'll add before your colleague jumps on is we're seeing a lot of interest in the way that we not only use open access with paywall, we also check open access after the article's been delivered. So we do both ends. So anyway, is that good, Jeff? Is our
great.
Next one's on?
I think everybody's here. Tony, thank you so much.
Thank
you. To everybody in session, I will remind you that we will be doing follow-ups after this. So I see that Tony put his contact information in the chat box, but I'll include that in our follow-up email as well. Thanks again, Tony, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. Thank you, Jeff.
So I'm going to flip us back over to my screen so that I can introduce our next presenter, who joining us for Taco Tuesday again, I think we've had her here in the past. I'm excited to bring back Tina Roller from Scholastic. Tina, are you on the line? I'm going to set you up so that you can share your screen, but I want to make sure you can hear me. Tina, are you there?
Yes, I am here. How are you?
Very, very well. So just to, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and hopefully that'll empower you to share yours, Tina.
Awesome. Let's see. This one. Can you see my screen?
I can. I'm excited for what you've got for us today.
Awesome. So if we are all set, welcome to Taco Tuesday. I just love calling it Taco Tuesday. So what we have here at Scholastic for you today is we're going to go into the TrueFlix program. So first, I'd like to thank you so much for your time, and I'm thrilled to have a chance to share a quick overview of this award-winning program. Digital platforms and the internet presents our students with significant challenge of learning how to access and synthesize massive amounts of information. Yet, contrary to belief, students do not instinctively know how to navigate the abundance of information available to them through digital resources like TrueFlix and our other Flix programs. So 75% of students have no idea how to locate articles and resources that they need for their research. On top of that, 60% of students don't verify the accuracy of reliability of the information they find. And teaching them that everything on the internet is not true seems to be a struggle. Now, more importantly, what about the teachers? Digital platforms have changed how they teach, prepare, and plan and find content. So 26% of all teachers spend 4 to more than 10 hours just searching for digital content to support their lesson plans. In time, students will learn how to verify information, but to start, they need to have access to information that's already verified in order to focus on learning and synthesizing and being critical of content. They need a place to start, a place where they can springboard into additional learning. Our content area programs were designed as a continuum. They deliberately follow the same watch, read, explore more format to build familiarity and confidence in our users. Whether it be through all of our programs are web-based, have unlimited users, 24/7 access, are mobile compatible, can be used in the school, library, or home. And they all share similar tools. These include unit videos and audio read aloud, lesson plans, vetted web links, multiple text types, and complementary training. All of the programs in Scholastic Digital Suite offer students, no matter what their grade level or reading level, the opportunity to build content knowledge with engaging content, develop core proficiency skills necessary for academic success, practice and fortify their digital reading stamina, navigate increasing levels of text complexity. Multiple Lexile or guided reading levels on the same content are available, so students are not only sure to be reading on level and therefore better positioned to comprehend, but to have the opportunity to read and master stretch text. Thousands of informational texts allow students to practice their close reading skills. Not only do our Flix programs feature nonfiction ebooks and informational text, but also primary sources, maps, poems, and fiction passages. In some cases, newspapers, charts, graphs, and so much more. There are additional resources to support teachers and librarians in our Scholastic products, including lesson plans, correlations, mark records, and so much more. TrueFlix engaging content helps build a love of reading and begins the students to read to learn. TrueFlix provides nonfiction content units in science and social studies for students in grades 3 through 6. Perfect for beginning researchers, science and social studies teachers, and independent learners. High interest content is delivered in an engaging format in a variety of media text types. This offers students a 360 perspective of each subject. Currently, there are 223 content units in 28 categories in TrueFlix. We just recently added a new category with 5 new units, and we enhanced our national parks resource as well. Age-appropriate videos are designed to engage visual learners and introduce the subject that will be further explored in supporting texts. Digital ebooks build content knowledge, while natural voice read aloud assists with vocabulary and fluency. That read aloud is also available at 2 different speeds for the student's use. Each of the units include a short video introduction to the topic to build crucial background knowledge and introduce key vocabulary and hook visual learners. Digital flip books with nonfiction text build content knowledge. Highlighted glossary words can be defined and read aloud in context. Lesson plans for every unit, as well as activity center with games and quizzes. Additional text, including fictional passages, poems, charts, tables, news stories, biographies, artwork, and more for a deeper level of understanding and a 360 view of the subject. And then we all know what good is having the resources if no one knows you have them or no one knows how to use them. At Scholastic, we truly pride ourselves on the partnership we create with educators and take our post-sale support very seriously. Welcome kits include a variety of tools to help you spread the word about your new resources, including posters and bookmarks. You also get the added benefit of having a personalized consultant who is working with all WiLS members and can help you promote these programs to not only your staff, but also your students and your parents. We have school-to-home letters to help you promote this program to your at-home users. Monthly newsletters and curated content and teaching ideas. We have ready-made social media images to share on your own channels, as well as professional development tools, including implementation guides and best practice guides. You can build a suite of digital programs, including all of our Flix programs, Scholastic Go, Watch and Learn, and Teachables. We also have our newest edition, which is Weston Woods Plus, And remember, with your WiLS membership, you are eligible to receive up to 40% off the list price on all print materials. That was kind of a quick rundown of TrueFlix. I would be happy to log in if there's any questions and you want to take a look at the program a little bit more in depth. You can always give me a call at 800-387-1437. My extension is 6354. Or you can email me at troller1@scholastic.com. Are there any questions?
Having a look in the chat here, Tina, I don't see any questions yet having come into the chat box, but of course, naturally, any questions that come to me, even if it's after our session or once people have maybe seen the recording on future days, any questions that come to us will for sure bounce over to you, Tina, or put you in touch with the member who has asked.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Thank you, Tina, and have a great day.
You too.
Okay, so that is going to bring us to our next presenter. I'm just going to pop up my title card here so that everyone can see that on the recording as well. So our next presenter joining us today from NewsBank is, I'm always worried I'm going to say your name wrong. I believe it's Ari Shanuk. Ari, are you on the line?
Yeah, well done, Jeff.
Oh,
Very
great.
well
Fantastic. Ari, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen so that you can start sharing yours, and then the floor will be all yours.
Okay, let me see if Matt Stawicki is going to join. I don't know if he's on here, but
I am on. I think I came in. I see you up here twice.
Yeah, you're under my name too. So we've got two Ari Shanuks here today.
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
One of them one is too many, let alone two. But disguising himself as me will be Matt Stawicki. So Matt, are you able to?
I am. I'm sharing my desktop now. Hopefully everybody can see that.
We see it.
All right, great. So I know we've done a number of different presentations for your group, and we very much appreciate the time you give us. Today we figured we'd go into the American historical newspapers a bit, because you've got a number of users throughout the state that seem to be having a lot of success with this. So we figured it'd be a good one to get into for the beginning of school. So this resource, it's made up of over 440 historical newspapers from across the United States. Those historical newspapers go back as far as 1690, the very first newspaper published in the US, all the way through to 2000. And as you can see by this timeline interface, this was designed to really help support US history studies, although it is cross-curricular, because we do include the entire issue of the newspaper when we add a newspaper to this database. So it does get into other subject areas, and I will point that out. Okay, when you click on any one of these, for example, if I click on 1690 and I want to see what did that first newspaper look like, I see here early colonial newspapers published. So that's under social cultural. If I wanted to look at the war, Spanish succession, there we go. Government, military, political events, the French and Indian War, right? Or discoveries, inventions, and firsts. We're getting into science and things of that nature. But just an example, let's go take a look and see what that first newspaper looked like. So you can see here, we've got a summary of what that event is. Every single entry on the timeline includes a summary of that person, that event, whatever it might be. Okay. Below that, we have primary source documents. So these are all articles that were pulled to support that specific event or person and so on. And then additional searches in case you didn't find what you were looking for here. But example is, if I want to look at what was the mission statement of that very first newspaper, when I click that, you'll see here, this opens up a digital image of that newspaper exactly the way it was printed back in 1690. 332 years ago, this thing was printed. And here's the exact image of that newspaper. And you'll see here by these thumbnails that we have all 3 pages of that newspaper loaded. Okay. So if I wanted to see what that looked like, I can simply click here, and there is page 1 of that newspaper. Now, this newspaper was printed for only 1 day because once the British read the newspaper, they decided they didn't like what it said, and they burnt down the presses. Now, just to give you another example, let's jump into World War II. Okay, so here we go. The same exact layout, as you can see. But here, for example, a classic, right? The Grapes of Wrath. So you can get literary criticism from exactly when that work was penned in 1939. Okay, I go down here. I see we've got Oklahoma, the musical. So here I'm getting into theater. Okay, I go a little further down. United Nations founded. So now we're getting into the civics area. I go over here. Nuclear era started, right? The helicopter. So now we're getting into the science. And then, of course, we've got all our World War II documents. Now, we also add historical events at the request of our users. So an example of that is, you'll see right here, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. One of our users last year came to us and said, can you add this for us? So we said, of course we could. So what we did was, you can see here, we created the summary. Now, one of the things we're also doing with the summaries now is, aside of just giving a summary of what that event or person was, we're adding comprehension questions. So you can use these to check, did the students really understand what they just got done reading, and so on. And we even include some suggestions on projects and things of that nature. Okay. So here it is. We built this for that user, and you can see here all the primary sources. Okay. So if I click on Rockford Peaches, send the daisies packing, you'll see here. Okay. I'll make this a little smaller. Okay. There's that article right there. And all of these newspapers are digital images. Okay. And have the same exact interface here. So I can view more articles back from where I was at. Okay. I can search the page or the issue for more information, because again, we have the entire issue of this newspaper. And in this case, it's the Fort Wayne News Sentinel from September 18th, 1950. And as you can see here, we've got all 28 pages. I can get information on where my story is coming from. I can create the citation. And if you're using Noodle Tools, RefWorks, EasyBib, you can export to those tools. But there's an example of the MLA8 citation. I can email this to someone. Who do I want to send it to? From me, a random message. When you send this, the system is mobile friendly. So whether they get this on their phone, a tablet, their PC, it doesn't matter. It will open up. Okay. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Okay. Because what I want to do is show you another function that gets heavily used by students, because maybe I want to clip out this article. Well, I've got a clip function. So if the article has not already been clipped out, that allows me to literally clip that article out of the newspaper. Okay. And I want to make sure I get the whole thing. And then I can print it, download it to a PDF, or save it out to Google Drive. So example is, if I download it, I can even include the citation. So now what that will do is that'll clip this directly off the page and create a nice clean PDF. And you can see it's running there, that I can now, as you can see, use this directly in with my project. It also makes it easier to read in many cases, because if you're dealing with old historical newspapers, many times they can be difficult to read. And you can see here is the citation. So it makes it very, very easy to use. Okay. Again, you can print it, full page or clip, download it, copy link. So this is a Doro link. So when I copy this link, I can put it into a lesson plan. I can email it to a student, to a teacher, to a parent. When they get it, it will always open up to this page. Okay. And then again, if you're using Google Classroom, it can integrate with Google Classroom. So if I was in Google Classroom, I could download this directly into an assignment. I can peruse page by page, jump to a page this way, or use my thumbnails. And as you can see, it is the entire issue of the page, so of the newspaper. So you get everything. You get the cartoons, the classifieds, the advertisements. I mean, literally, it is everything that was published in the newspaper of that day. Okay. My breadcrumbs bring me right back to where I was. Now, example, maybe I did not find what I was looking for using these primary source documents that we created. Well, we've got these searches. So I can search a league of their own, and that will actually go out and search the set of historical newspapers with a preset search and bring back a set of results. As you can see, it's very tight, 54 results with some filters. I've already got some dates that I've applied to this. Okay. We've got our source type, of course, which is all newspapers. I can filter by year, by source name, and so on. But example, this is talking about, of course, A League of Their Own, the movie that Gina Davis was in. So if I click here, that ties to girls professional baseball, and there we go. There is that article right there, okay, which I can cut out. So as you can see, very, very easy to use timeline that's organized and really it really was originally designed around U.S. history textbooks, and it highlights every major era in U.S. history all the way through to 2000. Okay. Now, you can also keyword search this document. So if I click on this, that allowed me to create a keyword search. Okay. So if I wanted to search out, for example, the Constitution. Okay. Now, you'll note here, I put a question mark where that S is supposed to be. I did that for a reason, and I'll illustrate that in just a moment. But now I'm going to get all the information, for example, on the Constitution. And the system automatically defaults to newest. Now I can go oldest and best match, but I can filter by different dates, okay, by different locations, as you can see, because we do have, again, we've got location. If I just click this, just to give you an idea, okay, we've got locations from across the United States. We're pulling information, okay? So we're getting information from every state. So if I wanted Wisconsin, I could simply click that, and that would narrow down just content from Wisconsin, okay? And I'll hit apply. Now I'm going to do best. I'm going to filter this to oldest, and let's see if we've got a paper that's old enough so I can illustrate why I did that question mark. Okay, and we do not. That's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Wisconsin though, just so I can show you the reason you put in a question mark. It's just a little hint on how to search historical documents, because way back when, you'll see here when I click on this document right here, that letter S in the word in the middle of the word Constitution does not look like a letter S. It looks like the letter F as in Frank. Okay, and I'm just going to go to page 1 to illustrate that. So that question mark that I put in there gave me the ability to grab any character. So you can see here that although this is from the Boston newsletter, you can see there that what's called a long S. So that gives you just a little hint, because whenever the S was in the middle of the word, when they were hand typesetting everything, the head and the tail of the S would typically break off. So they came out with what they call that long S. Okay. So you can see, easy to use. It's got a timeline that gets you to everything you need, but you can also keyword search it for any document you wish. Okay. So very, very simple, easy tool to use. We also integrate with, we have LTIs that will integrate with Canvas for you as well. And we are developing one that will eventually integrate with Schoology. Any questions, Jeff, from anyone?
I haven't seen any questions come into the chat or the Q&A module yet, but of course, if any come in after the session or in response to our follow-up messages, we will definitely pass them on or put them in touch with the staff over at NewsBank. Great.
Appreciate the time, and I want to thank everyone for letting us present.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
All righty. Thanks. Have a
Thanks,
great day.
everybody.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
All right. So I'm going to take us back one more time to our landing screen so that I can introduce our fourth and final presenter for this month's Taco Tuesday. Jeff Hahn is joining us today from vendor partner Social Explorer. Jeff, are you on the line?
I am.
All right, so I am going to stop sharing my screen, and I think that should allow you to share yours. Is that right, Jeff?
That is correct.
Okay, yep, I can see your screen now. Over to you.
Terrific. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the time today. I'm from Social Explorer, which is a market leading. We are a leader in data visualization and data acquisitions. We have been in business for over 15 years and have over 450 academic libraries as customers. So we offer our clients a suite of online tools and data that allows users to visually explore millions of data points across demography, economy, health, crime, social problems, elections, and more. Users can visualize and interact with the data, download reports for offline processing. And over the past 4 years, we've added teach and learn content that supports OER and zero text cost options for undergraduate education. Our goal today is to set up trials for the fall semester for institutions that are part of WiLS. Set up a free trial. We could start now and run through December. So let me show you what our product looks like. So this is it when you log in. When you log in, you'd have your school name here. You'd be able to, the students and faculty can log into Social Explorer through Easy Proxy, through domain verification, and through IP verification within the library. So it's easy to use it on campus and off campus. We've developed a LibGuide for libraries to show people how to use the product. It's developed by discipline: sociology, criminal justice, psychology, political science, public health, business, environmental science. It shows students how to log in. It shows students where training or for faculty as well, where training tools are available. And so we have a very detailed LibGuide. And if you go to the shared SpringShare site, you can find it and integrate our LibGuide into your own LibGuides on campus. Let me show you the product. First of all, we have a data dictionary that shows you what data we have in our system. So we have all the ACS data going back to the first ACS, the American Community Survey, which used to be the old long form for the census. We have all types of census data, business formation data, health data. We have census data going back to 1790 up to the current census. We have voting data. So everything that we have in our system can be found right here under Data Dictionary. And let me show you how the product works. So from the home page, we have some pre-built maps, U.S. decennial census data, looking at the current data for 2000 into 2010 on the same geography. We have COVID data, voting data, election data. All of these are pre-built maps where you can go directly to this content. Most people log in through Explore. And once you're here at Explore, you can see the types of data that we have. So if I go to change data, I'm looking at the year 2020. These are all the data sets that we have for 2020. Age, sex, race, income. What I'm looking at right here is a population density map. If I zoom in, I'll tell you what, I'll zoom in right into Madison by typing Madison, going right to Madison, Wisconsin. And here I am at a population density map of Madison, Wisconsin. You can see how fast it rendered. And we're at the block group level, looking at population density. If I wanted to, I could then go in and do a comparison, say a side-by-side map. Here on the left, I have population density. Here on the right, maybe I'll change the data and look at race. And I'll look at African Americans by, and so now I see a comparison at the block group level. On the left, I have a map with population density. On the right, I have a map showing a percentage of those census tracts that are African American. And so this can be used in a variety of courses to show real data sets to students, and students can build out activities using this as well, or faculty can use this for research. So I'm going to go back to this view. One of the things that we've done over the last 4 years is build out activities that students and faculty can use either to get an idea of how to use the product or to integrate them into their courses. So if I go to lecture launchers and I go to political science, American government, here's an activity that we built using Social Explorer. And these are the types of activities that students can build. This one looks at the 2020 presidential election and a focus on Democratic turnout. So if I start this activity, here I'm looking, I have a little bit of content. On the left is the 2016 Democratic vote. On the right is the 2020 Democratic vote. And then there's a little discussion about it. Now I'm looking at the Republican vote. And if I was a student, I could zoom in. If I wanted to, I could look at Madison and see as a percentage of the vote. It was 23% of the vote in Dane County in 2016, and it was only 22.8%. So it was slightly less in 2020. But now I can look at specific areas of the upper Midwest. Here I'm looking at Dane County. Again, Democratic vote was 70% in 2016, but it was 25% in 2020. And then there are some questions here that were built. What do you think led to the increased voter turnout? What do you think led to an increased Democratic support? Now I'm looking at Philadelphia area. I'm looking at Pittsburgh. I'm looking at the Atlanta suburbs. And again, I can zoom in and out. And these are the types of activities that students can build themselves or faculty can build and share with students. So if I go back to Social Explorer, I can look at data going back to 1790. If I click 1790, it shows the data sets that are available. I can go back to 1970. It shows me the data sets that are available. So I can do comparisons over time. If I wanted to look at income, say, people making less than $75,000 a year. And again, I want to zoom in and look at the state of Wisconsin. I can now zoom in and I can look at, here I'm looking at the block group level, households that make less than $75,000 a year. If I wanted to, I could also look at change over time easily. I click 5 years, change over time. And now I'm looking at the change between those variables over a period of time. And so students are able to use teach and learn modules and get an understanding of data and how it works. They can build their own activities. They can do their own research. We have, if you look at, we're looking at 2020. These are all the variables that we have. We want to look at married couples, income below the poverty line with related children. We can click in. We can start to see that down at the census tract level. I'm looking at Milwaukee County. You start to see where there are census tracts where people are living below the poverty level. Also, you're able to download all of this data as well. So if I wanted to, I can go in here. I can click state. I can go to Wisconsin. I can search tables. I want to look at race, 18 years and older. And I can create a report for the state. And these can be downloaded into any other system through Excel, CSV file, Stata. The last thing I want to show you is you can look at demographic profiles. If I go in here and I type in a town, Madison, Wisconsin metro area, it will give me a demographic profile on the fly for Madison, Wisconsin. Median age, sex, race, ethnicity, foreign born, all of this information, education, economics, household, housing. So this is a tool that social scientists, social science students can use in the classroom. Once the library purchases the product, it's free to all students. And one last thing I'll show you is anything that you build in here. So I'm just going to go back to this presidential election teach and learn module that I showed you. Anything here can be added with this link or embedded with this link into an LMS. So faculty can put these into their learning management systems, or they can be emailed. But anyone with this link can view what was built, even if they don't have an account. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Jeff. And Jeff, are there any questions?
Thank you, Jeff. I don't see any questions in our chat system, but we will certainly refer folks over to you, or I'll come to you if we've got questions or additional follow-up from our members.
That's terrific. Well, thank you very much for having us. It's much appreciated.
Thank you for joining us, Jeff. It's always a pleasure.
I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, you too. Have a good rest of the day.
Take care.
So with that, we come to the end of our latest Taco Tuesday session. I will say thank you to everyone who joined us live, and thank you to everyone who is watching this as a recording. As a reminder, we are doing Taco Tuesday every month. So our next session will be October 4th at 11:30 a.m., just like it was today. We've already got a great slate of presenters for next month. So feel free to check out WiLS.org. You can already register for that session and see who will be presenting that month, and actually every month for the rest of the year. So thanks again for joining us, and hope you all have a great day.